It sounds like a script straight out of Hollywood. A KCK man convicted of 2 murders was set up.
That's what attorneys for Pete Coons are saying. Their claim, not only was he set up, he was set up by one of the victims.
A closer look at some old evidence may tell a new story. Here's KCTV5 investigative reporter Angie Racono.
It's not often you find a key piece of evidence more than a decade later, but that's what happened in this case. Lawyers now say it's clear this wasn't a double murder. It was actually a murder-suicide, and the man sitting in prison is innocent.
Officers did respond to that address and found 2 individuals inside deceased.
In April of 2008, Kathleen and Carl Schroll were shot and killed inside this KCK home.
We still don't believe it's happened.
Kathleen's mom told police her daughter called her and told her a man named Pete Coons was in the house and was threatening to kill them.
We did get some leads last night to let us take this individual into custody.
It was a story police, prosecutors, and even a jury believed. Pete Coons was eventually convicted of a double murder.
This case haunted me.
Coons' legal team now says
Do you see that?
everyone got it wrong.
Here it is.
What's compelling to me is that the truth is finally coming to light.
Coons heads back to court this November for a new hearing.
These are great.
Which outlines a much different version of what happened that night.
All those years it sits in custody.
Coons' attorneys say they can explain all the inconsistencies investigators and prosecutors ignored to make the case fit.
He was a 50-year-old male man on a medical disability with no criminal history at all.
Bell argues the real gunman was Kathleen Schroll. She killed her husband Carl and then turned the gun on herself. The new filing reads, it couldn't be just a suicide, it had to look like murder. Coons' legal team points out key facts. It was Kathleen's own gun, and it was found near her body. She had the gunshot powder residue on her hands. That was recently revealed through testing. Attorneys argue Kathleen's financial crimes were about to catch up to her. There is no evidence Pete Coons was there. In fact, he had an alibi. But the most shocking new evidence is that a 4th bullet has been recovered in this case.
The discovery of the missing bullet.
You can credit Pete Coons' attorney who looked at old crime scene photos and realized it could be in bedding collected at the scene.
An investigator opened it up and called me and said, guess what I'm holding in my hand?
That 4th bullet literally changes the trajectory of the case.
It's crucial. I mean, it absolutely destroys the prosecution's theory of the case.
Prosecutors had argued one of Carl's head wounds was from a blunt object and speculated Coons must have fought, then shot Carl, then killed Kathleen. Now that all injuries come from Kathleen's own gun, here's what a jury would need to believe.
A 50-year-old male man on medical disability who couldn't walk from here to there without getting red in the face somehow got into someone's home and went over there unarmed to murder them both. It makes no sense.
Bell and his client are hopeful the judge will listen with an open mind. The new filing argues a terrible rush to judgment had devastating consequences. It did not have to be this way. If Pete hadn't gotten saddled with an incompetent detective, a dishonest prosecutor, and an ineffective defense attorney, maybe Kathleen's scheme would have failed. Our investigation continues online. We've posted the full petition. It's almost 200 pages, and inside they review allegations of an unreliable informant, questionable tactics, and a prosecutor who wanted to win at all costs. In Kansas City, Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.